Hey, fourth graders, I did not put this page in the lesson plans, but if you could possibly get out your workbook, we're going to talk briefly about something on the bottom of page 191. Okay, so look for 191 in your workbook. Then eventually we're going to be going to 4-2, which is our homework for today. So pause the video and get out your workbook, and we're going to do just these few problems together. Okay, so our directions are that we are going to write either equal to or not equal to. Okay, so I have these two choices. And you guys are used to seeing equal, but this one means not equal. Those are the two choices that we have right now, okay? And we want to pick the one that makes the statement true, okay? So we're going to look at both sides. We're going to solve, and then we're going to see which sign we need to use. So I'm going to make a little V on both of these, and we're going to do both sides, and then we're going to decide which sign we want to put in. So you can kind of probably quickly do mental math here. 5 plus 2 plus 6. Write that on the top of the V. 13. 6 plus 7. Also 13. So do I want to use the equal sign? Are both sides equal, or are they not equal to each other? They are definitely equal, aren't they? Okay, let's look at another one. Let's go over to number 4. So we have 80 on this side. We don't need to solve there because that's already done, but we do have to do a little problem over here, don't we? 60 take away 20. 60 take away 20, and count backwards. 50, 40. So I have 40 on this side, and then I have 80 on this side. Are they equal? They are not. So I have to do not equal to. I think you're getting the hang of it already, aren't you? And so when a number's by itself, like it is here and like it was up on the one we just did, that's done. You just leave it the way it is, and then we're going to solve the other side to check it. What is 40 plus 30? I can count up by tens. 50, 60, 70. Are those two equal? 70 and 70? Yes, they are. Okay, I'm going to see if you can do number 6. Do this side. We don't have to do the other side because the other side is 3, but see if you can get that number written on top of the mountain there before Mrs. Hagen. Do 18 take away 4 plus 11. Okay, so did you do 18 minus 4 was 14 plus 11? Did you get 25? And so I have 25 on this side and 3 on this side. Not even close to equal, are they? And we have 2 more to do. Okay, this side is 50, so I leave it alone. Do my mountain right here to solve. Oh, I see parentheses, so I'm going to do that first. 10 plus 5, 15. So now I have to do 55 minus 15. What is 55 minus 15? Write it on top of the mountain. Did you get 40? And so we have 40 on this side and 50 on this side. They are not the same number and they are not equal. All right, one more. Make your V's. 21 plus 6. I got 27. 31 minus 4. Also 27, right? So I have equal for my last one. So I think those are kind of fun, right? Now, one other page that I wanted to just talk about is just the very next page, which would be 192 for you. I want to talk about one other thing. So if you can go to page 192, and I will pull that up. All right. There isn't anything to do, but I want to talk about it. I want to do some reading with you. Okay? So they're talking about when you add and you put two groups together, I'm right here, follow along with me. When I add or put two groups together, when you subtract, you find an unknown addend or take away one group from another. Addition and subtraction are inverse operations. They undo each other. Addends, those are just the numbers, are numbers that are added to make a sum. We know when we see sum, it's plus. You can find two addends for a sum by breaking apart the number. A break apart drawing, that's what we're going to talk about below, can help you find all 8 of the addition and subtraction equations for the two addends or the two numbers. So you guys remember we did math mountains last year, okay? And that's what we called them in 3rd grade. So you have 3 numbers, you have your total or your sum, and then you have your two addends at the bottom, okay? You can circle this in your workbook with me. Okay, so today they're going to have you write 8 problems using those 3 numbers, okay? So last year, I know when we talked about it, we said to kind of do them in pairs. So you can see that these first 2 are the same. All they did was switch these 2 numbers around. They start with 81. 81 equals 72 plus 9. 81 equals 9 plus 72. Okay. Then I see another one that looks kind of similar too. And I have 2 that start with 81 minus, right? So I have 81 minus 9 equals 72. 81 minus 72 equals 9. Okay, and then I have just adding the 2. To me, these 2 kind of are similar to each other. Okay, so I've got 72 plus 9 equals 81, and 72 equals 81 minus 9. And then I have my 2 that start with 9. Okay, 9 equals 81 minus 72. And 9 plus 72 equals 81. So we're going to be writing some of those later, and I'll help you with that, but I just wanted to do a little instruction on that. So now meet me on page 4-2. All right, guys, here we are on 4-2, the homework side. Up at the top, you are going to see the equal or not equal to problems that we just talked about, okay? So you're going to be deciding which sign. So remember to use those V's to figure out what, like on this first one here, I'm going to do a V on the side, just like this and just like this. And I need to figure out both sides before I make my decision, correct? And it's a little tough to fit it in, but remember when there's a number by itself, it's already done. So on this one, I just need to do this one, okay? 95 minus 25. If you'd rather do the V's underneath because you feel like you have a little bit more room, that's fine too, okay? But remember, when a number's by itself, it's all done, okay? Just have to figure out the other side. All right, so I think you will be good to go. This is our break apart drawing that we just talked about. Obviously, it's different numbers than it was before, right? So this is where we're writing 8 different equations, plus and minus, using those 3 numbers. So we're going to do some of these together. We're going to start with the number at the top, and we're going to do 2. We're going to do 48 equals, sorry about that, equals, and then I take my 2 numbers on the bottom, 42 plus 6. Now I'm just going to look at that equation and I'm going to write it the other way. So I'm going to say 42 plus 6 equals 48. It's kind of like they're partners, right? Because this one starts with the 48 and this one ends with the 48. Otherwise, they're the same. All right, I'm going to do the same thing on the next pair. So I'm starting with the 48. But now I'm going to flip those numbers around. I'm going to use 6 plus 42. All I did was switch those around, okay? And now I'm going to write that same problem the other way. So I'm going to say 6 plus 42 equals 48. Just flipping it around, okay? All right, now we're going to take our 42 and we're going to start with that. And we're going to say 42 equals 48 minus 6. These are all true statements that we're writing. 48 minus 6 does equal 42. Now I'm going to flip that around and I'm going to say 48 minus 6 equals 42. Notice that those are similar to each other, okay? And the last one is going to be 6 equals, what does 6 equal? How do I use the 48 and the 42? Tell me how you would do that, okay? And then I want you to flip it around when you get to this one, okay? I started it for you. It has to equal 6. Make it true, and then flip it around and write the same thing there, okay? All right, let's look at our story problems. Talk about those a little bit. All right. There were some people, we don't know how many, at the Arts and Crafts Fair. Then 347 people went home. Now 498 people are left. How many people were at the fair to start? So when I look at that, I have an unknown because this is some. We don't know exactly how many. So if I wanted to write my equation, I could say this many people were at the fair, and then take away the 347 people that left, and now it equals 498. Okay? But to solve that, what do I need to do? Okay? I need to figure out the question mark. I'm figuring out this. So I have to, instead of doing minus, I'm going to need to plus my two numbers. Okay? I'm going to need to plus 347 plus 498 to figure that out. You can use your white space too. Mrs. Hagen kind of moved over. Okay, because I have an unknown in there, which is my question mark. So even though it looks like it's minus, I have to plus to figure it out. Okay, let's read number 12 together too. A group of scientists spends 3,980 hours observing the behavior of monarch butterflies. They spend some, this is our question mark, more hours recording their observations. Altogether, they spent 5,726 hours observing the butterflies and recording their observations. How many hours do the scientists spend recording their observations? All right, let's start back at the beginning. I have a group of scientists that spend 3,980 hours observing. Then it says they spend some more hours, so plus, we don't know how many though, so that's our question mark. They spend, all together, they spend 5,726. So I need to solve for the question mark, okay? And that question mark could also be a letter, couldn't it? So I need to figure out how much. So this is a plus, and I'm actually going to minus to solve, aren't I? So I'm going to take my 5,726, take away 3,980, bigger on the bottom, borrow, okay, to solve. Okay, and then also don't forget your labels, right? Let's put our labels in right now so we don't forget. People and hours. Okay, guys, and we just have a couple on the back, and then you will be good to go. So if you want to pause the video and finish up, and then meet me on the back side. All right, here we are. We have not done rounding for a little bit, so remember rounding is the friends and bullies. If you forgot that, let's rewrite that up here. Friends are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and bullies are 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, very important to know what we're rounding to, okay? But they're doing it a little different. So we're used to, now they're going to say, what is this number rounded to the nearest hundred? So I think the best way to do that is to write the number and then underline the things that you need to, the spot that you need to round to, okay? So I'm going to write my number over, I'm running out of space here. Tell you what, let's cross this one out and then we'll have a little more white space. So I'm going to round to the nearest hundred the first time. So I'm going to write that number, 538,152, because that's the number. Now I'm going to round it to the nearest hundred. So I need to underline my hundred spot. Then I need to look next door at my neighbor. Is he a friend or a bully? He's a bully, so he's going to beat that one up. Okay, so my numbers at the beginning stay the same, don't they? The 5 beats up the 1 to a 2, and everything else turns to zeros. So that's what they mean when they say round to the nearest hundred. Then I would go up here and I would write that new number in there. 538,200. Okay, and then you're going to start over and you're going to write your number again, that same number. This time I'm going to round to the nearest 1,000. Okay, so write that number again, 538,152. This time I'm going to underline my thousands. Okay, go next door. Is that a friend or a bully? It's a friend. So he's not going to beat the 8 up. Okay, so my 5 and my 3 stay the same. He doesn't beat the 8 up. And everything else turns to zeros. So that's rounding to the nearest 1,000. I come up here, put my new number in. Okay, and so you're going to need to write that number, the number in black, 2 more times. Okay, one of the times I'm going to round to the 10,000s, and one of them I'm going to round to the 100,000s. Okay, so write your, you've got extra space here, so write that number again. Okay, and then you're on the first one on C, you're rounding to the nearest 10,000. So you're going to underline your 3 and look next door. Okay, and then when you do D, you're going to be underlining the 5 because you're going to be underlining the 100,000s. All right, and you have 2 more problems to do right here, and stretch your thinking is extra credit. And you just have this one little problem right here. That's pretty easy for you. And I think you guys should be good to go. Thanks for being good listeners.